Every June, I tell myself that this is going to be the summer that I finally slow down. And at the end of every August, I look back and wonder where the time went. I'm not doing that this year. I'm not doing hot girl summer. I'm not doing soft girl summer either. I'm not doing any version of summer that has a name, a Pinterest board, or any type of starter pack. This year, I'm doing summer my way. And the thing that's actually going to make that possible isn't a long manifesto and it isn't a vision board. Instead, it's a short, boring, completely non-negotiable list of things that I do every day, no matter what. This week, I'm going to walk you through my list, and then I'm going to help you build yours, because I think every woman should have one. A list of non-negotiables, that is. I think most of us don't, and I think that this is where we keep losing our summers. Hey loves, welcome back to the Purfect Sunday Podcast for women who want to grow as people without pretending they don't care how they show up. I'm not an expert, I'm just a woman who's been paying attention and figuring things out along the way. But first, before we get into things, let's talk about this week's new Sunday obsession, and that is the Ancient Minerals Magnesium Oil. I have never been a great sleeper, so I'm always on the lookout for ways to improve my sleep, even if it's just by a little bit. I already take magnesium every night before bed, but I decided to buy this magnesium oil because it's supposed to help with sore muscles, and I've also seen reviews saying that it's helped people sleep better, so I decided I wanted to give it a try. At night, about 30 minutes before going to bed, I spray the bottom of my feet with the magnesium oil and rub it in. And then right before I turn my lights off, I rinse my feet off because I have a thing with feeling anything on my feet. But since I've started using it, I'm falling asleep faster and I am actually staying asleep through the night, which is a pretty big deal for me. And I love that I wake up feeling rested and not at all groggy, unlike when I take melatonin or CBD. So if you're also working on improving your sleep, then this Ancient Minerals Magnesium Oil is something that's definitely worth trying. Moving on. Okay, so let me tell you the moment I knew that this summer had to be different. Every year, I try and go on a couple of fun trips, usually somewhere for my birthday in February, a camping trip in the summertime, and then a proper summer vacation with my kids. And for every trip that I take, a friend or two usually comes along with me, and I love that. At the end of every trip, my kids are happy, my friends are happy, everyone has had a great time, but the truth is that I am completely exhausted. And this is no one's fault but my own, because this is just how I am, but I spend the entire day making sure that everyone else is good, that everyone has what they need, and that everyone is getting to do what they want. I want everyone to feel like they're getting the summer break that they envisioned. But that means that I'm rushing to everyone else's schedule and I'm not doing the things that I would like to do or to relax and unwind the way that I need to. And I recognize that that's entirely my fault. Always setting aside my needs to make everyone else happy is a choice that I have been making. And when summer wraps up, I think that I just spent months giving everyone the version of summer that they envisioned, and I didn't give myself what I needed. And that's just my pattern. As soon as the last day of school hits, my daily routines and habits go out the window to accommodate everyone else. And it's not just vacation. It's every weekend, every birthday party, dinner, gathering, and every event I said yes to when my body was telling me no, or to just sit this one out. This year, I started moving different, and it's carrying into summer because I refuse to have my life, my routines, and all the work that I've done over the last year be derailed by these summer months. I don't want summer to fly by and then fall to arrive feeling like it's finally time to rest, reset, and reestablish my routines. And the way that I'm doing it isn't by quitting summer, and it's not by going off grid, and it's not by canceling on people or on all plans. Instead, it's by getting really, really clear about a short list of things I do every day, no matter what, then letting everything else be flexible. And that's it. The non-negotiables are tighter and the negotiables are looser. And that combination is the thing that's actually going to let me enjoy summer instead of just try and get through it. So that's what we're getting into today. Before I do, a really important note, nothing in this episode is medical advice. Everything I'm About to tell you is what I figured out for me in my body and my life. I have an autoimmune condition, Hashimoto's, for those of you who are new here, and the choices that I make are in large part driven by that. Your list of non-negotiables will most likely look very different, so please take what serves you and leave the rest. Okay, let's get into it. So here's the thing. Every summer, the internet hands you two versions of summer. Version 1 is Hot Girl Summer, and this can be a full-on project. It's always showing up looking your best, staying on top of your cardio, the 6 a.m. workouts, the perfect skin, hair, nails, everything is always done. It is basically just optimization with a tan. And version 2 is Soft Girl Summer. The slow mornings, the matcha, the doing less on purpose, which sounds amazing until you realize that the people posting their soft summers are also performing it. It's just optimization in a linen dress. Neither of those things are inherently wrong, especially if it's what you want and what you have time and energy for. It's very easy to fall into a comparison trap online without even realizing it's happening. And if you aren't able to live up to either of these options or versions of summer, it can lead to you feeling depressed, left out, or even like you're just not doing enough. So neither of those options is what I want. What I want a summer where my mental and physical health are prioritized and work, fun, and leisure time feel more balanced. And here's what I figured out. The only way you get a summer like that, a summer that is yours, is by deciding ahead of time what you will and will not let slide. That's what a non-negotiable is. It's a thing you do every day, no matter what's happening, no matter who's at your house, no matter whose birthday it is, and no matter how late you got home last night. It's a short, specific, boring list that protects the foundation and your peace. And non-negotiables aren't restrictions. They're the things that actually make the rest of your life feel free. When I have my morning journaling done, my skincare done, my sleep protected, movement checked off, I don't have to think about any of it for the rest of the day. I can say yes to the spontaneous dinner. I can say yes to the late night beach walks. I can say yes to an impromptu trip if I wanted. Because the foundation isn't depending on the day going perfectly. Instead, the foundation already got handled. The women I know who seem most free aren't the most relaxed about everything. They're actually the most rigid about a small handful of things, and that rigidity is what buys them their freedom everywhere else. So today, I am going to walk you through my 7 daily non-negotiables, and then I'm going to give you 3 ways to figure out yours, because mine aren't going to be the same as yours. Everyone's will look different, so they are tailored specifically to your life. All right, let's go. These are the things that I do every day, no matter what. I'm going to give you the why I think it works and how I actually do it. These are listed roughly in the order they happen in my day and not in order of importance. So I feel that they are all very important, and that is exactly why they are on my list. Number 1 is journaling. The reason journaling is number 1 on my list is because without it, I feel a little bit insane. Your thoughts, especially if you're an overthinker or deal with a lot of anxiety, they stay in your head and just spin in circles. But putting your thoughts on paper allow them to actually take a shape. Journaling does 2 main things for me. One is it allows me to think about things more clearly by giving me a space to sort my feelings out and then figure out where the feelings are coming from. Are they actually based on facts, or is something else happening that's making me feel a certain way? And the other thing it does is it empties my head of all the random thoughts and little mundane things that I think about getting done every day. And then my mind is freed up to think about and plan bigger things. Journaling is probably the easiest thing on this list because 99% of the time I'm doing it before anyone else is even awake. So it's usually my most peaceful moments of the day. And because I am a habit stacker, I usually do my red light mask at the same time and also drink my morning tea. If I have zero time constraints, I'll sit and write for as long as I want, and other days, 5 minutes might be all that I have. The point isn't to write something super meaningful or poetic and beautiful. It's to dump my head before the day gets a chance to start loading it back up. And I don't just reserve journaling for home. Whenever I travel, even if it's just for the weekend, I bring my journal and I reserve some alone time in the morning just for writing. Number 2 on my list of non-negotiables is my skincare routine. Skincare, to me, is the line in the sand between I'm the person who shows up for myself and I'm a person who's let myself go. It's teeny. It costs almost nothing once you have all your products. And every single morning and night when I do my skincare routine, even when I'm tired or exhausted, even when I've had a really hard day, I'm telling my body that I'm still worth the 15 minutes. That taking care of my skin matters because my appearance matters to me. And that is the embodiment of look good, feel good, do good in one of its simplest forms. In the morning, after I journal, I usually put on a podcast or an audiobook. Then I do my gua sha to depuff. Then I cleanse my face and add my skincare products. Nighttime is double cleansing and skincare products. Which products you use isn't the point. The framework is the framework. So cleanse, treat, protect twice a day, every day. And yeah, basically that's it. It's the consistency that is what is important. Number 3 on my list is minimal alcohol. Alcohol disrupts sleep, spikes inflammation, raises cortisol, dehydrates your skin. It wrecks gut bacteria. And for those of us with autoimmune stuff in the picture, it just flares everything up that might otherwise be being managed. I'm not saying that I never drink. I am saying I drink very minimally. For me, that is a drink or two every couple of months at this point. The inflammation and the joint pain it causes can take anywhere from a week to several weeks to recover, and it's just not worth it. So if on the rare occasion I do decide to have a drink, I never order more than 2. And when I'm not drinking, I just order sparkling water with some lime. And hard and fast rules have always been I never drink at home, I never drink alone, and I never drink to take the edge off or if I'm feeling sad. I've never been much of a drinker, so this non-negotiable has never been a hard one for me. Number 4 on my list is my diet. What I eat is the single biggest difference between feeling like myself and feeling puffy, tired, inflamed, foggy, and like maybe I don't even want to be alive right now. Hashimoto's means my body is more sensitive to certain foods than the average person's. So gluten, dairy, nuts, processed sugar, ultra processed anything, that is all off of my list completely. I've spent years figuring out what works for my body. And at this point, I do not view my rules in any way as deprivation. They are actually protection. And I don't think of them as being restrictive in any way, shape, or form. I think of them as the reason that I get to feel somewhat good every day. Because my diet is so restrictive, I always plan ahead. And if I'm going to a gathering or a party, I make sure to bring something that I know that I can eat so that the host of said gathering doesn't have to worry about me at all. And if I'm going out to eat, I always check the menu online first. If there isn't much on there, I'm probably going to just eat at home and then order something light at the restaurant. I am not afraid to ask the waiter as many questions as I need to, and I'm not embarrassed to ask to make accommodations either. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I don't think that most people mind as long as you're not being rude about it. And honestly, for me, going out to eat has become more about the company and the ambiance, and the food is just a side thing. Number 5 is getting enough sleep. Like I said earlier, I am not a good sleeper. I never have been, but I know that sleep is the foundation underneath all the other non-negotiables. If sleep doesn't happen, it's only a short amount of time before everything else collapses. Sleep is when your body repairs itself your hormones rebalance, your brain consolidates memory, your skin regenerates, and your nervous system actually comes back down. And for someone with an autoimmune condition, sleep isn't optional. It's the cheapest, most powerful thing that I can do for myself. So even though I'm not good at it, I do try to take it seriously. Ideally, I try and go to bed by 10, but that doesn't always work, especially when I'm traveling or on a night out. Even though I try to always be up early in the morning, I think it's important to have some flexibility in life. So if I'm up late, then I will usually set my alarm for a later time and try to get some extra sleep in the morning. That doesn't always work the way that I want it to because of your body's internal clock just ends up waking up when it is used to waking up. And sleeping in means everything else that you have to do during the day is going to have a late start. So these are all things that I take into consideration when I'm staying up past my bedtime. Number 6 on the list is solo time and downtime. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm an Aquarius, but I've always been a person who needs a lot of alone time. If someone were to call me an introvert or a loner, that would probably definitely be accurate. And that can be really hard to get as a mom or when you're traveling with friends. It's also one of the main reasons I prefer to wake up early in the morning just so that I can have some silence and solitude before starting out the day. Of course, there are days when that's just not possible, but as much as I can, I try to have alone time every single day. And sometimes that means going for a walk instead of being around people at the gym. And sometimes it means if my kids are gone for the night and my friends ask me to go out, I decline because I want to and I need to just sit at home by myself. I don't think that solo time is selfish. Over the years, I have learned that it is the best way to regulate myself and manage a mind that never chills out. And I know this is how I'm able to show up as the best version of myself for everyone else. All right, lastly, number 7 on my list of non-negotiables is daily movement. Movement isn't always about burning calories or hitting a fitness goal, at least not the way that I think of it now. It is about keeping my body and my nervous system feeling as best as I can. So a walk, a stretch, or lifting some weights, these all are what help me feel alive. And I do believe in use it or lose it. For someone with Hashimoto's, gentle, consistent daily movement is really one of the best things that you could do for inflammation, energy, mood, and just reducing stiffness. So most days I try and go for a long walk, and I have 3 or 4 lift days at the gym. But sometimes that's just not possible. So if I have a day that I'm not leaving my house, I have weights that I use for a short workout. Plus, I'll do abs and a few minutes of stretching. When I don't actually want to dedicate time to a workout, I will leave a pair of dumbbells in the middle of the floor of my bedroom. And every time I walk through my room, I stop and pick up the weights and I do a set of squats or lunges or deadlifts. And that is just a little hack that I have to get some weightlifting and movement in without actually setting aside time for a proper workout. And then when it comes to traveling, I like to bring resistance bands and a jump rope. These don't take up any space inside of my bag and they are easy to do wherever you are. And if I'm in a new city, I always pack good walking shoes because I will always prefer to explore a new place on foot. The goal isn't always to break a sweat. Instead, it's just to get my circulation going and your muscles firing. So that's my 7 non-negotiables: journaling, skincare, minimal alcohol, a clean plant-based diet, sleep, solo time, and daily movement. These are the foundation to my health and wellness, and everything else is just built off of that. You may have noticed what is not on the list, and that is a specific weight, a specific dress size, a specific number of social events, or trips that have to be taken. Those are not on the list because those things do not make up my foundation. So anything else is something that I can be flexible with. Now, when it comes to your list, your list most likely isn't going to look like mine. Mine took years to figure out, and they reflect my body, my history, my autoimmune situation, my personality, and my season of life. But I want to give you 3 different ways to help you figure out what your non-negotiables are. You don't have to use all 3 of these, but I'd run yourself through all of them once and then just see which list lights up. And from there, take your final non-negotiables from the overlap. So framework 1 is the energy audit. For 1 week, really start paying attention to your energy and how you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. After every meal, every event that you go to, after every interaction that you have with people, then ask yourself if it drained you, did it restore you, did it make you happy, or give you energy? Or maybe you just felt neutral. You're going to notice patterns very fast. The drains could be certain people, certain types of work, doom scrolling, too much alcohol, staying up too late, events that maybe you said yes to out of guilt, or eating things you know your body doesn't like. Then you're going to notice what restores you. Is it a specific friend when you talk to them or spend time with them? Maybe it's time in nature, reading before bed, or a specific kind of movement like Pilates or yoga. So once you've thought about all these things, your non-negotiables are going to come from your restore list, not all of it, just the ones that show up consistently, the things that every time you do them, you feel more like the best version of yourself. And those are the things that are going to be candidates for your master list. The second framework is figuring out what falls apart first. So think about the last time that you were depleted, burned out, overwhelmed, just running on fumes. What was the first thing that disappeared? For some women, it's sleep or your workouts. For others, it's their boundaries or ability to say no. You just become a yes person when you're stressed because it's easier than fighting with someone. And for some people, it's their diet. They stop eating well and they start reaching for more snacks and junk food. Whatever it is that falls apart first when life gets hard, that's a non-negotiable because losing it is the first domino in everything else collapsing. So protect the first domino and the rest of your structure has a better chance to stay standing. This is exactly how my non-negotiable lists got built. I noticed what I dropped first when I was overwhelmed, tired, or busy, and I made those things untouchable. And then the third way to figure out what should go on your list is to think about a younger version of yourself, the 25-year-old or 22-year-old self, the version of you who could do anything and just bounce right back. What were you once able to get away with that you genuinely can't get away with anymore? Maybe it was drinking 4 or 5 nights a week and then showing up at 7 a.m. feeling fine. Maybe it was sleeping for just 5 hours a night and then going to a job interview. Maybe it was skipping meals, eating whatever, never working out, and still looking and feeling great. Maybe it was saying yes to every event and never thinking about energy management. Wherever your body has changed on you, that's where you need a new rule. This isn't about getting older as a sad thing. This is about getting honest about who you are now and what your body's needs are. Your body in this season is not the body of your 25-year-old younger self. So pretending otherwise is how you end up tired all summer, wondering what's wrong. There is nothing wrong. You're allowed to need different things, and the things you need now are going to be your non-negotiables. So after you've done all that, you're going to run through your list and notice whatever overlaps or shows up more than once. Your final list should be somewhere between like 5 and 8 non-negotiables. Fewer than 5 and you won't have a very strong foundation, but more than 8 can be too hard to keep up with. And then the next time that life starts to get really hard or busy, you just end up throwing the whole thing out because you're overwhelmed. And every non-negotiable should be specific enough to be measurable, not something vague like eat well or move my body. That's more like a wish or a vibe. We're going to be specific and say things like 30 grams of protein at breakfast every day. That is a non-negotiable. 45 minutes of walking every morning is a non-negotiable. So being more specific is what's going to end up making it real. After you write your list, put it somewhere that you're going to see it. It could be the inside cover of your journal, your phone notes, a sticky note on your bathroom mirror, really anywhere works. And just have it there to remind yourself until you have your list memorized. And then start living by it. Before we end this episode, one last thing. I think a lot of us got handed the idea somewhere along the way that being easy is the goal. Easy to please, easy to feed, easy to plan with, easy to host, easy to be around, easy to drink with, easy to say yes to whatever the group is doing. I don't want to be easy anymore. I want to do what's right for me, my health, and my body, and I want to be intentional. And sometimes other people might not find that easy. But an intentional woman is a woman with a short list of things that she does not bend on, and a long list of things that she can be completely flexible about. She knows the difference between her foundation and her preferences, and she doesn't apologize for the foundation. She doesn't make a moral issue out of the preferences either. She's not high maintenance, she's self-maintained. And that's what your non-negotiables are. They're not making you difficult, they're making you durable, and they're the reason you can still be fun, still be flexible, and still be spontaneous because the things underneath are all taken care of. So this summer, I want you to enjoy yourself and I want you to have fun traveling, relaxing, and having fun with friends. But I want you to do all of that from a body that feels rested, nourished, present, and calm. And that is exactly what a non-negotiable list buys you. And that is also why I believe every woman needs her own list. Okay, loves, your challenge for this week is to write down your top 5 non-negotiables. Run yourself through any of the 3 frameworks that I gave you, the energy audit, what falls apart first, or the past version of yourself, whichever one calls you the hardest, or do all 3. Find the overlap and try to get to at least 5 things. Then pick one that you've been ignoring the longest and do it every single day for the next 7 days. And that is it. 3 things I want you to walk away with today. One is you don't have to subscribe to anyone else's version of summer. Non-negotiables are not restrictions. They are the foundation that lets everything else be flexible. The tighter your foundation, the freer your life gets to be on top of it. And number 3 is this is what works for me. I am not telling you what your list should look like, but I am telling you that I think that you should have one. If you enjoyed the episode today, please share it with a friend who you think would also enjoy it. And if you haven't already, go follow the show, leave a 5-star review, plus a kind comment. It only takes a few moments and it helps grow the show. And I truly, truly appreciate it. You can find me on Instagram at Monty_Wheeler. Come tell me your 5 non-negotiables. Say hi. I love hearing from you guys. And thank you for spending your Sunday with me. Have a perfect Sunday, and I will talk to you next week. Love you.